Good evening, and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna F. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we come to you every Wednesday to inspire, to encourage, and to empower you to live a healthier lifestyle. I'm Anna. I'm a retired school teacher. I am a health and jewelry consultant. I am a certified baker. I'm also an author, and I'm also the host of the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, Sweet Blessings. The purpose of this podcast is to gather knowledge and make people more aware of their surroundings, physically, emotionally, socially, um, financially. I think it's one more. I can't just think of it right now. I think I said spiritually, physically. I think that's what it is. So we want to look at all of those areas because that's basically all about the well-being of the whole person, of the individual. And it's just not about adults or anything. It's about everyone, children's, infants, all of that. All of those things are very, very important as individuals, and we should know some of those types of things that we need to do for personal development. And to me, personal development is just another way of saying self-care. You know what I mean? Self-care, taking care of yourself. And I don't know, but as people, sometimes we have a tendency, especially women, have a tendency to put others ahead of ourselves. And so this, I can't do all of this in one session. So I'm going to break this personal development up into several. So it's going to be like a little series. You know what I mean? And so tonight we're going to unlock the potential strategies for personal growth and development. That is what I am concentrating on this evening. And there is a process in it, when you go through all of these things, and it's very important. Sometimes people just don't know the process. I didn't know the process until someone told me or someone enlightened me, okay, or made me more aware. Is what it, like I'm saying. So before I get started, I do want to let you know that those people who on Facebook, you can support me by sending stars. Stars help me earn money to make more content. Now, I do go live on other channels. Today, I am streaming on all of the channels that you see down at the bottom. And I'm also a part of the CTR Media Network. I'm so proud of that as well. And so if you are interested, I go live on Facebook. This is my Facebook, and I do my jewelry on there. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about my jewelry, you can go to my Facebook um, page as well. And then also, I do on Thursdays, I go live on Instagram. I won't be going live tomorrow because it's 4th of July. It's a holiday. But I do go live on Thursdays as well um, with my jewelry and so forth. So I just wanted to kind of like point those things out to you. I do have a bit, which is my website, and this is it. And so therefore you can contact me there. If you are interested in advertising, or you want to sponsor an episode, or you want to just do a commercial, or have a guest slot on my program, you can reach me at lustine1 at gmail.com. You can also reach me at my bit. But I also have, this is my other website where you can reach me through CTR Media Network as well. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get started here this evening. We are going to take a brief uh, commercial break, and then I will be back to start on talk about personal development. Now, personal development is something that is very, very important to me um, as an individual, and as in also in helping others. So let me go to the commercials.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Alrighty, I am back and welcome. This is Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. We come to you every Wednesday. And this Wednesday, we are going to talk a little bit about personal development and giving you some strategies, okay, for personal development. And like I said before, all of us need personal development. So the first thing that we really want to do in personal development is reviewing. You want to review and reflect on the first 6 months of personal development. Now that involves a structural approach to evaluate the process. Okay. You want to identify areas for improvement as well as set future goals. And so tonight I am going to give you a few of those steps. I do have a presentation. I do have a PowerPoint presentation. So tonight we're going to be unlocking your potential strategies for personal growth, for personal development and growth. All right. So, like I said, the first steps to take when reflecting and reviewing. So you're going to reflect and review. Now, reflecting and reviewing is very important. And we are in July, and July is the 6th month period. So if you set some goals at the first of the year, this is the time of the year where you want to go and you want to review and reflect and see if those are um, actually working for you. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to set aside dedicated time. You want to schedule. Okay. So basically, you want a quiet place. Okay. And you want to schedule a reflective session. Choose a quiet time and space where you won't be interrupted, allowing for focused reflection. Okay. Then the next thing that you want to do is to gather your materials. Because when you made those resolutions or those goals that you had planned on doing for the year, most people write them down. So now you want to gather your materials. So you got your personal development plan and you have your original goals. Okay, your plans or your resolutions, whichever one, however you incorporate it. Okay, mine is usually resolutions. So some people do a personal planning thing, but however you want to do it, you want to reflect and you also want to review on what you have stated in your per- professional development plan. All right. So after you gather your materials, journal or note, you want to collect any journals, notes, or records you kept about your progress. Okay. So when something good happens, you want to jot it down. Okay. And then you want to review your goals, revisit your initial goals. Look at the goals you set at the beginning of the year and consider both the long terms and your short term objectives. Both of them are important. And then you want to assess the relevancy. You want to determine if these goals are still relevant and align with your current values and priorities. So, because sometimes you can set a goal and it changes. You know what I'm saying? It changes midway in, and you have to refocus. And so that is the purpose of reflecting and reviewing your goals. And then the next thing, let's move on. These are all steps to take when reflecting and reviewing. You want to evaluate your progress. So you want to measure your achievement. You want to identify what you've accomplished so far, and note any milestone reaches or significant progress made. You want to analyze your setbacks. Reflect on any obstacles or challenges that you face. Consider what causes these setbacks and how you dealt with them. Because life is life. And so, whatever you do, there's going to be some type of obstacles that will get into your way. So, you need to look at it, reflect on it. Okay. How can you make it better? What is it that what caused all of that? So, when you look at it like that, it kind of helps. That's reflecting and reviewing, and that's very important that you do that in anything. I don't care whether it's your life or a business, all of them, you want to reflect and you want to review it. Okay. Because if you don't, you will never ever know where you're going and how far you have come. So always remember that. um then you want to reflect on personal growth. Okay, personal growth. And by personal growth, I mean the skills and knowledge. So you want to evaluate new skills or knowledge you've gained. Consider how these have contributed to your personal development. So along the way, as you're developing your own personal well-being, you're also developing skills. Okay? You're developing skills and you are developing knowledge. Okay? And I'm a firm believer you never get too old to learn. And, knowledge and stuff like that is very important to me because if you don't know how to proceed. And so that is one of the main reasons why I always tell people this, why I started this podcast. It was to help people because someone helped me. And that's why it's called Sweet Blessings. And I always tell the story of my mom who had dementia, and this girl here, over 50, did not know what dementia was. So those type of things they don't teach you in school unless you're in the medical field or psychology or something like that. So it went over my head. And so when my mom was diagnosed with it, I didn't know anything about it. What helped me was a support group, and I vowed through that. Because of that support group, I knew that others did not know like me. And so therefore, I thought God was telling me that I needed to get out here and help people just like someone has helped me. And to this day, someone is still helping me, you know. Someone can still. And so it's important that we pass it on. Okay. So you want to let me find where I am. I lost my thing. Reflect on okay, the skills. Okay, I was talking about your skills and the knowledge. So you want to evaluate your new skills or knowledge you gain. Consider how these have contributed to your personal development. And lo and behold, you want to look at your behavior and habits as well. You want to assess the changes in your behavior and habits you develop and areas where old habits may have resurfaced. Okay, because they do resurface. So, a good example of that to me is being on a diet, and you gain those good habits, but lo and behold, something comes along that is so delicious to you that you give up and you just go head on. So those old habits come back. It's part of life. Okay. So you need to assess those, and don't think that you are superhuman and that that's not going to happen to you, because it happens to all of us. Okay, so we have to look at and take heed of our behavior as well as our habits, uh, bad habits uh, that we have sometimes. So I wanted to let me move on. I gotta laugh at myself sometimes. We're still on steps to take when reflecting and reviewing. We're at the half point in the year, and I know that most of us have set goals for the year, or we have resolutions that we have done. And so now, since we are in the beginning of July, we need to take the time and look at those goals and see whether or not they're working or not. So we need to take that time to reflect and review. And so you want to identify lessons learned, success factors. Reflect what has worked well for you. Consider strategies, tools, or mindsets that have facilitated your progress. And remember the area for improvement. Recognize areas where you could improve and identify patterns or recurring issues that need attention. And so, to me, I work with daycares, and sometimes the daycares, they want to get a national accreditation, and in order for them to get that accreditation, they have to work as a team. And when I go in to observe them, or I look at what they're doing, and I give them the report, or they come to me and we all meet together, we sit down and we reflect and review. Now, mind you, I am just a facilitator, and I'm just there to do just that, facilitate. So they come up with all of their things. So, but I guide them and I tell them, you need to reflect on what has worked for you. If it's working, don't change it. You might want to tweak it a little bit. But then you want to look at those areas for improvement. Okay. Where is it that you need improvement? You need to look at it, because I'm not going to be there when the assessors come or the state comes to look at your things. So, therefore, all of you at that site or where you are need to know what's going on. So, it's important that you have uh, in services and workshops and stuff like that, so that you can reflect and review. And it's always good to give an evaluation after anything that you do. And that's coming up next, is what? Seek feedback. What my mother always told me, two heads is better than one. Okay. You can't see it all sometimes. Sometimes you need that objective person over there to come along and say to you, oh, why don't you try this? Or have you thought of doing it this way? You need that. So you want to seek feedback. Ask for input. Reach out to your trusted friends, your mentors, or your colleagues for their perspective on your growth and progress. They're there to help you if they're your friend. And then be open. See, the next one's very important. You want to be open to constructive criticism. And I know that's hard. It's hard for someone to come along and give you constructive criticism. Okay? It's hard. But be open to that constructive criticism and use it to gain a broader and understanding of your development. Now, I'm truly and truly hope these little points are helpful. Last year I did something on personal development, but it wasn't this detailed. And personal development is such a large area that I've tried to break it down. And so these are the first steps that you need to do when you are reflecting and reviewing. So I'm also going to show you in this podcast how after you have did your reflecting and reviewing, what do you do next? Then you want to know how to maintain or just adjust it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. So my teaching stuff is coming out tonight, y'all. We're still on steps to take when reflecting and reviewing. And the reason that I'm spending so much time on this because it's important. It's important that you reflect and review. Because if you don't reflect, you will not know what you're doing and how you're doing it. You got to reflect it. You got to. I don't care. In everything, you should reflect. You know, that was one of my main things when I was teaching at the end of the year. I always did reflection. Always, always. And I taught my children that too. Look at what you did. Did you do it to your satisfaction? It has to be to your satisfaction. It doesn't have to be, there's certain things that you got to do. So let's move on. So we want to adjust goals and strategies, which definitely what it's saying is we want to refine our goals. And based upon your reflections, refine or adjust your goals. You want to make sure they remain SMART. Now, a lot of people might not have heard of SMART. Now, SMART is a way of measurement. So you want to make sure it's a way of measuring or looking at your goals. So you want to make sure that your goal is specific. You want to make sure that your goal is measurable. You want to make sure that your goal is achievable. You want to make sure that it is relevant, and you got to put a time on that goal, time bound. So I'm going to talk a little bit later on in this episode about SMART and what each one does. And I'm going to give you some examples of it so you'll know exactly. Because a lot of times people don't know how to do goals, to write goals. And so writing a goal is very important. So we're going to develop new strategies. We're going to create or modify strategies to overcome identified obstacles and leverage your strength. That's what we basically want to do. And after we look at all of those things, guess what we need to do? We need to plan for the next 6 months, set new milestones, establish new milestones and timeline for your goals. Break down larger goals into manageable steps and create an action plan. How many of you all have an action plan? It's important to have an action plan because the action plan kind of keeps you on target. So you want to develop one, and you want to develop a detailed action plan for the next 6 months, outlining specific action and resources needed. Now, your goals are your goals. You set your own goals, but you got to self-evaluate those goals. And I do believe, let me see where I am, because sometimes I get off of my what I'm doing. So I want to make sure that I get ahead of my notes. Oh Lord, but anyway, let's move on because I'm still in steps to take when reflecting and reviewing. Document your reflections. Write it down. That's what you got to do. Write it down. Now, I don't really care how you write it down. I write mine down in a planner. I got a big planner. It's a big book. I got a big one and a little one. But in the big one, I write down little things in that. I reflect on this. I said, well, next time I'm going to do this, and I write it down in the book. So when I need to know what I'm thinking about or what I was thinking about, I can go back to that journal because there's a specific spot for it. Okay, because my mind wanders. I always tell people that I was an early childhood teacher. I taught babies 3, 4, and 5 year olds. And so, therefore, sometimes my attention span is just like those 3, 4, and 5 years old. I'm over here, over here, over here, over there. And so, I have to write things down. Okay. And it doesn't mean that, I'm going to still remember, but I still have to write it down. So, when you document your reflections and your insight, and this helps you in updating your plan. And this can be a form of a journal entry, a report, a personal development plan. But use visual aids. Consider using visual aids in charts, graphs, or vision boards to track your progress and future goals. And I say that, and you know, graphs and stuff like that, I would teach to my children, my 3 year olds. They know. If it wasn't anything but 2 candy bars up there, which one did you like the best? We could graph it out, okay? And you want to start at a young age graphing so that when they get to be, in grammar school or high school, they know what a graph is, okay? Because there's different types of graphs. So you got to educate your children uh, to the store. When you go to the store and say, which one do you like, this one or that one, you're comparing. Okay. And so those are skills that you might not even realize that you're doing, but you're teaching those along the way. And don't forget about celebrate your achievement and your acknowledge success. Take time to celebrate your achievements, no matter how small it is. Recognize the efforts and commitment you put into your personal development. So, we're going to break for a commercial, and I do believe we're going to come back and I'm going to talk about, let me get it together, steps to take when adjusting your goal. What I talked about now was steps to take when we are reflecting and reviewing our goals. But I want to talk a little bit about, and it's very, very similar. I want to let you know it's very, very similar. But I want to stop. I want to talk about steps to take when you're adjusting your goal. So now what we just did was we reflected and we reviewed our goals that we had for the first 6 months. Now we must adjust our goals. Okay. We must take time to look at them and adjust them for the following 6 months. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial. All right, we are back. Real short commercial there. And we were just wrapping up with steps to take when reflecting and reviewing. And so now we are going to All I want to say is that when you follow the steps for reflecting and reviewing, you can effectively reflect on your personal development journey, ensuring continuous growth and improvement. That's what reflecting and reviewing does. So now let's look at steps to take. I'm still in steps to take when we reflect and reviewing. So you're going to do regular check-ins. So you want to schedule regular check-ins, and you want to keep yourself motivated. Keep yourself motivated. All right. Now we want to get into steps to take when adjusting your goal. So just remember to stay motivated and I'm looking at my notes again. And do regular check-ins. Regular check-ins. Are you on task? Okay. And do things to make you stay motivated. Now let's look at steps to take when adjusting your goal. So we reflected on our goal. We reviewed our goals. And now we want to take time to adjust our goals. So what we did was we reflected on current progress. We reviewed our achievements. We assessed what we have accomplished so far, and we have identified our setbacks that we've had or the obstacles that we have faced. And then we evaluate the relevancy. Are those goals aligned with my values? And it's important that you ensure your goals still align with your core values and priorities. So you want to reassess motivation, confirm that the goals are still meaningful and motivating to you. You're going to gather your feedback. You're going to seek input. So if you change it, you might want to get somebody's opinion. What do you feel about this? Okay. You want to get that feedback from your mentors and colleagues or friends who can provide an external perspective. And then don't forget about the constructive criticism. Be open to suggestion and constructive criticism. And analyze your challenges. Okay, let me move on. I told you I get ahead of my notes. You want to analyze your challenges. Identify barriers. Determine what has been hindering your process. Assess your resources. Evaluate if you have the necessary resources, time, skill, support to achieve your goal. Those things are important too. So you want to redefine your objectives. SMART criteria. There's that SMART again. Make sure your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Break down your goals. Divide the larger goals into smaller, manageable milestones. You want to adjust your timeline. Set realistic deadlines or set realistic goals. Set new realistic deadlines that account for current circumstances. And always, always be flexible. Build flexibility into your timeline to accommodate unexpected events because just like I told you, life gives you unexpected events every day. And I was listening, I don't know where it was, I was listening to something and the person was saying that every time you get up, you plan to do this, but somehow or another something comes along and changes what you had planned for that day. So most days are like that. Most days you get up with a predetermined set of tasks that you want to do, and something comes along and changes that. Okay. It happens to me all the time. I don't care whether it's the telephone company or whatever, whether I got to get on the phone and deal with them. And that's sometimes it's an all day thing. So what I had planned for that day just didn't happen. And that's happened. That's why you got to have that flexibility. And you need to build that flexibility in your plan when you are when you do your plan. Okay, let me move out there. Trying to see because my notes is everywhere. Okay, I think I'm on task. Okay, so you want to develop new strategies, alternative approaches, brainstorm different ways to achieve your goal, and you want to leverage your strengths. Focus on leveraging your strengths and resources effectively. Set priorities. Even though you have all those goals that you have set for yourself, you know, you want to rank the goals. It's important that you rank them. Prioritize your goals based on the importance and urgency. You want to focus on key areas. Concentrate on a few critical goals rather than spreading yourself too thin all over the place. You just want to pick one or two. I'm going to work on one or two. You might have 10 goals for the year. It's just like my task doing when I got to do housework and stuff. I write it all down. I don't get through it all in that one day. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 days down the way to get to everything that's on my list. But I do write it down. So I focus on the key areas, the areas that need to be done right away, like the bathroom. I'm just using this as a hypothetical example, okay? Because you need to focus on key areas, and sometimes those key areas, not with me. My key areas are usually where I have problems, so I try to the areas that I'm doing well in, I kind of let them move on, but I try to focus on those areas where I'm having problem or I need a little help in. Okay. And then when I get those up, then I move on to another one. So after you have done all this, you want to create an updated action plan. Detail steps, outline specific actions required to achieve each goal, and look at the resources that you need. Identify any additional resources or support you might need. Okay, let me see where I am. I got to look at my notes because sometimes I move. I'm still on steps to take when adjusting your goals. So you want to monitor, and I've said this before, you just can't set the goals. You got to monitor and you got to review regularly. So you got to have those regular check ins. Schedule regular reviews to monitor your progress and make further adjustments if necessary. Track your milestones. Keep track of milestones and celebrate achievements along the way. Stay accountable. This one here is important. Accountability partner. So you want to share your update goals with a trusted friend, mentor, or accountability partner. Now, it's important to have an accountability partner. You might not think so. And you don't have to. You're just there to help that person along the way or encourage that person along the way. And I'm going to give you an example because my girlfriend, she is trying to go vegan. And so she entered this vegan challenge where you have no sugar, no salt, and it's one other thing, well, no meat. We know no meat and all that. You only eat vegetables and fruits. And so she entered me into it. Now, mind you, I have no intentions of going vegan. I do eat vegan dishes sometimes. And I vary. Sometimes I have uh, dinner where I don't have any meat. I try to be versatile in that respect. Uh, but I I was her accountability partner in that thing. But what I did, because to me, she's already along the way. I am not along the way, and I don't know if I want to be vegan. But because, and I told her, that is such a drastic thing to take upon right away. It's something that should be done gradually if you're going to do it. So what I did was I cut out beef. That's what I did. But she helped me with mine, and I helped her with hers. Now, believe it or not, with me just cutting out that beef, I lost 6 pounds, y'all. For the month of June. This was June. So give yourself challenges. Do that. Be accountable for things. It's nothing there but encouraging that other person. You're sharing your update with someone, and regular updates on your program, your progress, to stay accountable. Like I said, you want to maintain the flexibility, adjust as needed. Be willing to adapt and adjust your goals as circumstances change. Continuous improvement. It should be ongoing. You want to keep going. As long as you're living, you want to keep improving yourself. You want to view goals adjustment as ongoing process of continuous improvement. That is so, so, so important. So, by following these steps, you can ensure that your goals remain aligned with your evolving priorities and circumstances, and it also increases your chance of achieving them successfully. So, before I leave, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about SMART, but I'm going to go to a commercial, and then we will be right back, and then I'll talk to you about SMART.
Join the She Trucking Foundation today and be a part of a supportive community of women in the trucking industry. Unlock exclusive access to valuable resources, including mentorship, educational workshops, and networking opportunities. Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting your trucking journey, She Trucking is here to empower you and help you thrive. Visit www.shetrucking.com to join us and drive your trucking career to new heights.
All right, we are back. And before I leave this evening, I wanted to talk to you about SMART goals. And SMART goals is something that they teach in school. But most of us have been out of school for Lord knows how long. And so we don't remember this. But each one of those SMART stands for something. The first one is specific. And this is what you would use when you are writing your goals. You want to be specific. So the definition of that is you want to define what you want to accomplish. An example. Remember, I told you I was going to give you some example. Is instead of saying I want to get fit, you want to say I want to lose 10 pounds. So you're being specific. Then you want that goal to be measurable. So the definition of measurable is ensure that you can track your progress and measure the outcome. So the example for that is I will track my weight loss process by weighing myself every week. Can I measure that goal? Yes. Is the goal achievable? Definition. Set a goal that is realistic and attainable. given your current resources and constraints. Example, I will lose 10 pounds in 3 months by exercising 3 times a week and following a healthy diet. So when you write your goals, you want to make sure you see how we took it from the specific to the measurable to the achievable. Now let's move on because we also got to do is it relevant and time bound? So the definition of that is you want to choose a goal that matters to you and align it with your other relevant objectives. Example, losing weight will improve my overall health and energy level, which will help me perform better at work. So is it relevant? See how you made that goal relevant? By participating and setting this goal, you've shown how it is relevant to your life and then time bound. You want to set a definition or set a deadline to create a sense of urgency to help you focus on the goal. An example of that would be I will lose 10 pounds in 3 months starting July 1st and reaching my goal by September 30th. So that is, I just want to say by using the SMART method or the SMART criteria, you can create goals that are clear, tractable, and achievable, which increases your chance of success. So we're going to take one last commercial and then we will be back and I will give you a brief summary.
Does this resonate with you? Has a company ripped you off in the past? SettleShark is changing how consumers get money back from companies. SettleShark assists consumers during the entire process, from beginning to end. Our process is simple, convenient, affordable, and powerful. You're in control. We are here to help you. Contact us today at www.settleshark.com or call 1-888-704-0708.
All right, we're back and we're just finishing up with personal development and growth and the strategies you would use. And like I said, personal development covers many things. And so next week, I will be talking about motivational books to read. And there's quite a few of them out here. So I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of those books and also talk to you about meditation. Because meditation is also a part of personal development. And so I hope that you will tune in next week. And I just want to say at this time, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And I hope that in some way this evening that I have inspired you. I hope that I have encouraged you. And I also hope that I have empowered you to live a healthier lifestyle by reflecting and reviewing and adjusting your goals midway through the year. So I always close my show with the 3 L's, live, laugh, and love. So I want to tell everyone who's listening this evening to live your life to the fullest. Life is short. And so therefore, you need to live it and be happy. The second thing is to laugh. Bring laughter into your life. Laughter is so important because it is good for the soul. And what this podcast this evening was about, self-care, love. Love yourself. Loving yourself is the most important thing that you can do. And so with that being said, I'm going to bid you adieu and hope that you will tune in next Wednesday. for a sweet blessing.